What's up, everyone? Treadmill talk time. So, to start off with, I wanted to give a shout out to Emma. Emma gave me a shout out, and I have to reciprocate the favor because that's just awesomeness. So, I appreciate you, Emma. Thank you very much. If you get a chance, go check out her channel. Really outstanding lady, sweet, sweet person too. Got a lot of love for her. So, to start off this treadmill talk, I wanted to talk about kind of a taboo subject, but I think it's a really important subject to talk about, and that's life and death. And I wanted to start it off with a story. So, there was this kid, 18 years old, and he gets into a car accident. And so he's floating in the air, and he's thinking to himself, I don't want to die. And he can tell his body's not moving. He sees his body, and he's realizing this is the end. And all he's thinking to himself is how unfair it is, how he's too young, how life's just not going the way that he had planned to or hoped to. And you see tears in his eyes. And he's just really scared. And when he's floating up, he sees these two kids playing on a teeter-totter. And they're both wearing shirts, and one says life on it, and the other says death on it. And the kid with the death shirt comes off the teeter-totter, looks at the kid who's floating in the air and says to him, why do you fear me so much? Can't you see that life plays with death all the time? You don't appreciate life until you truly appreciate death. And you have to realize we go hand in hand. And the kid's just kind of thinking to himself, contemplating on what that really means. And he kind of goes into a stage of acceptance and understanding and realizing life doesn't become truly precious until we respect what death is and take the time to realize on our own that they go hand in hand. They're tangible together. You can't have one without the other. And after that, the kid snaps back. He's in the hospital. He starts feeling movement in his legs, starts feeling a tingling in his fingers, and he realizes he's alive. And after that moment, he starts taking his life to a really different kind of seriousness. He starts appreciating what he's truly been given and realizing this isn't something that's going to last forever. And he's going to live life day by day, knowing he's not going to know his true time, but that his true time can never be determined, that he doesn't know because of that dance that life and death are always playing. And really taking the time to look at the perspective and understand how important it truly is. And I think sometimes we need those stories to respect what we've been given, to truly respect it. And there's another one, and again, this is a mythology, but you can take it as reality or not reality. These are stories, you know. No one really truly knows what's going to happen. Well, some people might know what truly happens, but we'll just save that for another topic. But there's this thought that we're immortal. We have foreverness in life. We live forever. Our souls, our spirits. And our spirits get bored because we have eternal life. And what they do is these vessels, the bodies that we have, they come into these vessels to appreciate and respect feelings, emotions, understanding, knowing that with the beginning comes an end. And when we see it that way, it almost makes us take the time to really appreciate and go all in on what we've been given, the purities that we've been given, the opportunities that we have been given to maintain and to understand and to educate and to feel love and to feel pain and to feel hate and to feel anxieties and to feel all these little things that are going to go into our life. And you look at certain people and they take all of these and they turn them into strengths. Any anxiety they go through, any fear they go through, any doubt, any happiness, any love, any joy, any pain, they take it and use it all as this strength to truly appreciate every feeling they're ever given, to truly appreciate every moment they're ever given. And some people use those as weaknesses, though. Every reason to why life isn't fair. Why do people have to hurt? Why do people have to be in pain? Why do people need these things? And people need these things to truly take the opportunity to experience. I know we often can ask ourselves the question, is there really a God? And only as an individual do you know that answer. Some are going to say there is indefinitely one. Some are going to say there is indefinitely not one. Some are going to be on the fence. But I know one thing, is that we all feel. And we all feel very deeply. We can all scar. We can all heal. We can all hate, and we can all love. We have all of these capabilities in us, these feelings, these emotions. And I've seen some incredibly powerful stuff. And I've also seen some wicked, dark stuff too. And I know the one thing is for sure, is that light will overshadow darkness. Always does. It's just natural how it works. Whenever there is light in the room, darkness cannot be within that room. And if there is darkness within that room, the light will illuminate through the darkness. Darkness cannot overshadow light, but light can illuminate through darkness. And so I sometimes look at all the things and how reality really works and how we're given these hints in life. Consistently, we're given hints within life. And sometimes we don't take the time to really look at the hints that are given to us. But I mean, they're everywhere. Everywhere I go, in every soul, every human being that I talk to, whenever I look into a person's eyes, and I got to open myself up to them. I have to open myself up to them to get them to open up to me and to get them to trust me. And when they trust me, then I just take them to where they've really needed to go. Sometimes people want to get home and they don't know how to get there anymore. And for my people who are meditators, for my people with the strong mindsets, for my people who practice on a regular basis to be their best, they understand what home means. Go back to your home. Go back to your peaceful place. Go back to that place where you become empowered, where you have enlightenment within yourself. Some people might not understand that. Some people might watch this video 10 times and it might click for them after that 10th time. But the truth of the matter is, everyone can feel it. Everyone can understand it. Everybody has different topic matters and subjects that go into play. My friend who's having the drug problem, so he ended up using yesterday, and he went 2 weeks clean, and he had some victories in all of this though. He really did. He actually called me and he told me what he was on, and it's actually less than the drug that he started with. So he didn't get on meth again, thank God, because that's the devil's drug right there. You get on that, that's hard to get off of. And he's been struggling with that for the longest time. So the fact that that's not what he did, that was a victory. And he's talking to me, and he said to me, you know what was really going through my head right before I called you? And I go, what was going through your head? And then it was a back and forth for a little bit, but because it took him some time to really open up to it. But he said, I didn't want you to know that I had done it. He was coherent, and that was a start, because I've heard him on the other stuff before, and he's obliterated, he's gone, I can't understand him. I actually was able to understand him this entire time. That was another victory. But he says to me, I wanted to pretend like it didn't happen and go back to training like it didn't happen. And in my mind, I was thinking, how do I not let Cliff know about this? How do I hide this from him? And I told him no. I go, look, the truth of the matter is, life's going to go on. Whether you continue to use or whether you don't. Life is going to go on. My life, your life, everybody else's life. And we get to choose. But I said to him, if you would have lied to me, you wouldn't have been lying to me. You would have been lying to yourself. And you got it. You know? So we're going to get training. We're training tomorrow, actually. And I'm going to beat the crap out of him. I told him I was. And he says, I know. But I told him, look at all the little victories you've had today, though. Because let me tell everybody, this process, like I said, I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew what I was signing up for. This isn't an easy one. And we've only been training for a little bit. I have trained so many clients with so many issues. So this is one I wanted to take on. And everybody is a little bit nervous about this one because it's a hard one, and I know it is. I know it's one of the hardest ones that I'm going to find. And that's probably why I took it on, honestly. Because I know that he wants it. And when I know that you truly want it, I'm not going to not try. I'm just not going to do that. And people can use whatever they want to use into saying, you can just stop something. You can just let it go. Don't you know it's bad for you? We all know. We play trickery on ourselves sometimes. We trick ourselves into believing that everything's just okay. And I take people and I tell them to call themselves out. That's one thing my dad did a very good job with me at a very young age. He gave me the opportunity to look at myself and to call myself out on my own bullshit. And to say, is this really what you want? That's all being great is asking yourself the question, is this really what you want? So all of these stories that I'm telling, life and death, knowing everything, knowing your humanity, knowing life will end one day. Look at yourself and ask yourself the question, the true question, is this what you want in life? And again, even after you answer it, the actions you take on that answer takes time. Like I said, things do not happen overnight. They never do. They sometimes get hard. You got to build a lot of self-awareness. You got to put a lot of things together. And you have to just keep working it. And you're going to fall. And you're going to trip. And you're going to get back up. And you're going to climb. And you're going to climb some more. And eventually, if you're that person who makes it up to the mountaintop, you can look at the work that you've done. You can and stare at it. But I wouldn't look too long, because to be human is to be a fighter. A fighter in something. What that thing is, I can't tell you that. Only you can answer that question. But we all know that feeling of being alive. Truly being alive. And to be alive is to have some type of understanding and knowing of fighting through things. And it's funny because sometimes you can use two different words in this. And they sound like two completely contradicting words. Some people use the word acceptance. You just accept. You accept what you are, accept what you have, accept what you can control. And that's true. You do need to have acceptance. But you also have to have grit and a desire and want and a need. That true need. I think that's what I kind of show people is, what do you need in this world? What is there something that you would die for? Because it's the most empowering feeling that you can have. And when you need something, you are going to have a fight. There's not just laying around and I'm just accepting for the sake of accepting. Acceptance means you go all in on the strengths that you have and you build on top of those strengths. That is what acceptance means to me. It does not mean to lay around and do nothing with your life. And I honestly don't think that's the answer that any of you would give it as. To just accept life coming as it is. Live life in a proactive manner. For any of you that have ever done anything amazing or ever felt great about doing something or ever had that feeling of accomplishment and achievement, what did that feel like? Ask yourself that question. And not only what did it feel like, tell me, do you want it again? And do you want it again? And do you want it again? And then when it's all said and done, because like I said, we're never promised tomorrow. When it is all said and done, to be okay with whatever happens, because it's going to happen the way it's going to happen. And to not look back with regrets or saying, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. Saying to yourself and accepting the beautiful teeter-totter of life and death. Going all in and knowing that you put your heart and soul into your life. You lived to the fullest of your ability. Truly lived to the fullest of your ability. I haven't seen a lot of people that get to say that. Like I said, my mom was a hospice nurse. You don't hear that one very often. But because you don't hear it often, doesn't mean it can't happen often. This is something that can happen for everybody. But our culture kind of hides it and pretends like it's not there. Pretends like we'll talk about it for a little bit, but it really is a taboo subject. We don't really talk about death and the understanding of it. I think we become freedom fighters a little bit. We're really good at being freedom fighters, to the point we have vegetarians who are becoming protectors of animals. And I do truly admire and respect those who are. But at the same time, how much are you doing for your life? And ask yourself that question. When it comes down to being the change in a society, imagine how eloquently a person can speak if they truly enjoy the life that they have. And the truth of the matter is, if you have the potential to truly enjoy your life, can't you convince someone else to enjoy theirs? And when they enjoy theirs, wouldn't that convince them the importance of how all life is important? I think we go ass backwards on this sometimes. We talk about everybody else's life. Speak within your own. Live your life fully. Live your life joyously. Live your life in a loving manner. Be the greatest you. And watch how it spreads. Watch people respect it. People respect their lives because you respect your own. Truly respect your own. Because when you're feeling good, when you're feeling happy, or even this, when you're truly, it's not even a feeling, it's deeper than a feeling. Because emotions, let's be honest, go up and down, left, right, they go all over the place. But it's more than just those emotions you have, it's deeper than that. When you have an understanding, a true understanding of what life is, won't you respond a little bit differently? Regardless of how your emotions are going, whether you're mad, whether you're happy, if you have an understanding and a true respect for life, wouldn't that change things quite a bit? How would that in your life? I ask you guys that question. How would your life change if everything came down to a deeper meaning and a deeper understanding and an appreciation to do right? Because there's not ever an easy answer to what right is. It's very difficult. It's a very complex question. But the one thing that I do know, when I speak even to the masses, this is where it gets very interesting. People, there's a deep-seated connection of understanding what rightness is. You don't have to explain that to 97% of the society. There's something there where they have kind of an understanding. It reminds me of, honestly, when it comes to eating rate. Now, some people don't know calorie levels, how many calories, when they should eat, how often they should eat. They don't know that stuff. But they know the difference between when a food is actually good for them and when it's not. And they know how it feels to be on that food. They know that crappy feeling they get when they have crap food and that good feeling they get when they're on good food. And again, this goes into that mind trickery thing. Because sometimes people will trick themselves into believing that the crappy food is actually good for them, that they need it. And the truth of the matter is, if you can't walk up a flight of stairs, how is that ever a good thing for you? It's just the mind playing tricks again. And so you have to look at your mind and ask those really deep-seated questions on, is this really right for me? And so we go back to the question of what is correct. What is the right thing for people to do? And they usually have the answers more often than not. They know what it means to be alive. they have the understanding of it. Now, to create that understanding takes time, energy, self-awareness. Some people say the school systems need to get better, and I agree. The school systems do have a part to play in all of this, but at the same time, we got to look so much broader than that, because we got to ask ourselves the questions: can you really take one teacher and put them in a classroom with 40 or 50 kids and really expect that teacher to do it all on his or her own? That doesn't sound very logical to me. And that's why I say each individual plays their part. You can smile at someone down the street and honestly make that person's day. They could have been having the worst day ever. And I mean, you smile at them in such a way that you're really just giving to that individual. Giving intently. Giving your all. And not expecting anything from them. Just giving them a smile. And that can brighten their day. And that's why I say we're all responsible. We always look out there. Well, the school systems need this. The cops need to do this. Well, they need to... You control you. You can't possibly take on the entire world. But if you can control yourself and have intent and understanding of life, do the necessary things that you need to do. Focus on what you have to do. Focus on being a better person. Because being a better person is better for the overall environment. That's the thing, when you become that light, you're shining within the darkness. Darkness is around. Darkness will be around. But when you shine bright, you aren't a part of the darkness. You're just not a part of the darkness anymore. And you shine as bright as you can, and maybe you come across people who are darker, and they might try and shine too. Or they'll just get away from you because they want to stay in the darkness. But go all out on you. Be your best you. Do the very best that you can do for yourself. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you later. Take care, everyone.